hackers, hope you are all well and welcome to this channel update. It's February 2023, been meaning to do this for a while but work has been manic. And talking of which, I'm not in my van, I'm not at home in my office, I'm actually in the Premier Inn in the Black Country up here doing some work. And for our overseas friends, plenty of subscribers from overseas now, America, Australia and some Europe. Premier Inn is like a cheap business hotel. Okay, and by the way, I'm doing this on a works iPad rather than my camera, so I'm not sure how it'll come out, but for someone who's got face to radio, a bit of soft focus will not go amiss. So, what's been happening over winter that's relevant? Well, of course, put some hacks up, which I think you may not have seen them. I've been putting a new ceiling in on my van, and I'm about to kick off on a big project as a result of some news in the industry, in the sector, which I'm sure you would have heard of. I hope you have, because it may affect you, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But first, it seems I need to apologise. The smelly food hack I put up, the extractor hack that showed you how to get around the nuance that you can't use standard extractors that you can buy in the UK on a 12 volt system in your van. I made a little light-hearted quip about a former wife when I kicked off. It seems that, oh God, I forgot her name, Laura did not think that was necessary, and I do apologise if you were upset, or I think I might have touched on some raw nerve somewhere, but anyway, sorry about that, don't want to upset subscribers. I thought it was quite harmless. For those who haven't seen it, I'll put a link on the end of this video, have a look for yourself. Okay, so I got another hack that I was about to kick off on until I became aware of the news that dropped regarding Calor. Now, I need to apologise to our overseas friends here, because I think this is probably a very UK-centric bit of news. And that is Calor, which is the big, probably the most well-known camping bottle gas company, are dropping some of their range, and it's the smaller bottles, and we're not going to be able to get those refilled anymore. Okay, and this is the announcement that was on the Calor Gas website. So I'll read the pertinent parts here. Calor announced its plan to streamline its cylinder range to improve customer service, and it says from the 1st of February 2023, so we're in that now, the Cube, 3.9 kilogram propane, 4.5 kilogram butane, 6 light propane and 12 kilogram butane will be discontinued. This means that customers won't be able to buy new cylinders or exchange existing cylinders for refill. Now they go on to justify why they're doing that, and they say that you will be able to upgrade your smaller bottle free of charge to a larger bottle. However, of course, a couple of things here. The biggest thing is, will your locker be able to accommodate a large bottle? And certainly mine won't. For those of you who saw the tour of my van, you may remember at the back here I've got this arrangement where I've got two 4.5 kilogram butane bottles side by side, which is now going to be hopeless for me, and I've got to think what to do. And I can get in a larger bottle, but only one, because that locker is under the combined hob sink unit, so I can get one that would go under the hob but not the sink, because the sink dips down and there's not enough height for the bottle. And one bottle is as much use as a chocolate tea cup, because you know you're going to run out of gas while you're away, because you don't bother cooking on your drive. So unless you change the bottle out before you're out of gas, it's wasteful. I am screwed, and I suspect a number of you people are as well. So the obvious solution that jumps to mind is Flo Gas, which, though is not such a well known brand in the camping community, it's actually got more stockists than Calor, and so it's a natural place to go. So just to be absolutely sure that I wouldn't be in the same situation with Flo Gas, I thought I'd email them to make sure they were supporting their range moving forward, the small bottle range. So here's my email back. Put my glasses. Okay, so first actually I just very simple email to them. I headed it 3.9 kilogram propane, 4.5 kilogram butane, and the question was quite simply, dear sirs, can you confirm that Flo Gas will continue to support these sizes moving forward? Do they both have clip-on or screw-on regulators? And I quite simply asked about the regulator because in the UK, we have two types of regulator. One's clip on, one's screw on. I've got screw on. Can I use my existing regulator? Okay, this is their answer back. Good morning, Greg. I am able to confirm that we will be continuing support of that size cylinder. Jolly good. The 3.9 kilogram propane bottle uses a screw-on regulator, while the 4.5 kilogram butane bottle uses a clip-on regulator. Okay, so I'm going to buy a new regulator, not a biggie, 30 quid. Then they go on to say, this is interesting, if you are a previous Calor Gas customer, we are unable to exchange the bottles. However, they are available for purchase with a one-time bottle charge. Okay, so I didn't mention about Calor, but they worked out why I was emailing them and they're thinking, yes, we've got some more business going on here. They won't obviously refill Calor bottles. You have to kick off a new hire charge. It's another 30, about 40 quid, I think, the one-time bottle charges. And by the way, if you've got a smaller Calor bottle and you want to give it back and get your money back, they're saying on the website they will give you some money back, and there's a range depending on its age, so long as you have the original hire agreement. Yeah, right, we all kept those, didn't we? Okay, so I thought, oh, jolly good, that's how I get out of jail. However, now this is the important bit that's screwed me, and it will screw some of you, I suspect. 90% of you, maybe 95% will be fine, but it did screw me. If you go on to look at the specification of their cylinders, we'll take the 4.5 kilogram butane as an example. It says height 340 to 370 millimeters, diameter 256 millimeters approximate. Then it's a narrative. Please note, cylinder sizes may vary in both height and width. If you require specific size, we recommend collecting from Flo Gas stockist. And going on the forums, it didn't take me long to find out that yes, that diameter varies by about 30 mil. Now, being the idiot engineer I am, and the nerd, and put my van together in the design stage on CAD, so I can move things around and just try this and try that, so I can optimise things and hot rod it there, which is great, and I squeeze every inch of space out that little van. You end up doing things millimetre specific, and my locker won't take any more diameter. Damn. So I thought, okay, so I phoned them up. I thought, oh, I can't bother the real. I phoned them up and said, look, this thing about varying width, you say go to the stockist. Are you saying if I go to the stockist, I will definitely be able to point to a bottle of the size I want and say, that's the one I want? Or is there a possibility that you might not particularly have that one in stock at the time? And he was very, very defensive, wouldn't commit. And I thought, I'm in problems. I've got problems. So I just need to make you aware of that, because there might be some of you who are in that same dilemma as I am. Right, so how do I intend to resolve it? Now, I could do a big bit of work on my van, like under the locker. I've got an onboard freshwater tank. I could sling that underneath, but I've got other stuff underneath. It'd be a big mess around. What I'm pretty well committed to do is I'm going to go for a refillable system. There's lots of them around, but the one I'm going to go for is the Gaslo system, which is like a bottle, but it's legally refillable. And the reason I'm going for that is because I can get one bottle, a 6 kilogram propane size, in that same space by redesigning the locker, but only one, because it'll fit under where the hob is above it, but not where the sink is. So I only can get one, but of course with refillable, it doesn't matter, because you don't have to run out before you top it up. And there's a bit of issue about supply, and I'll come on to that, but that's the route I'm going to go. And I've been talking to Gaslow, really helpful people there. I'm actually on butane at the moment, and I'm going to switch over to propane, because that's what is the you get on the in the LPG pumps at your petrol stations. And somebody asked me about the other day. I'm sure most of you will know the difference between propane and butane. Pluses and minuses. Propane is much better in colder climes. Butane doesn't like colder climate. The calorific value, kilogram per kilogram, is pretty well the same. A little bit better, a little on propane, but marginally better. But the advantage of butane is that it's a much denser gas. You can get more of that kilogram in a bottle. So where things are space critical, butane's better because you can get more energy packed in, which is why I went for butane to kick off with, because I'm not going in the Arctic climes, mostly in temperate UK, and that's the reason I made that decision. But of course I've got to go over to propane now. So I've spec'd up the stuff. I'm about to build the kit and put it together, and I will be videoing that just in case it's of interest to you. I guess it's more than a hack, it's almost like a system rebuild, but I've got all the stuff on order. I'll be kicking off for that any moment, and I hope to get the video up in the next couple of weeks. So that's the big news. Very disappointing. I mean, it's a big name, Calor, in the UK, and you know, a lot of people are going to be screwed by this. And you know, there were hints of this. It was getting harder and harder to get refills for the Calor, and particularly when COVID kicked off. I don't know why that was. I'm sure it's not related, but anyway, that is the solution I've got. Hope not too many of you are affected. Measure up your gas lockers. Go on the Flo Gas site. You could be fine just to be able to do a like-for-like swap. If you're like me, you're a bit screwed and you can't go any bigger in diameter, but got a bit of space on height, then the Gaslow system might work. In fact, Gaslow do a 2.5, but that's a bit tiny, isn't it? But that may be something you want to think about. Anyway, hope that was of interest. Sorry again to the overseas guys who are not going to be affected by this. You probably switched off already. But anyway, thanks for watching, and catch you next one. In the meantime, good hacking.